All right, welcome back. So I wanted to talk about this video in the last video I made, but there wasn't enough time, but I felt it was important enough to do a separate video on, so I'm going to talk about it today. This video from Crystia Freeland was on October 10th, and it's titled Deputy PM Crystia Freeland on Housing, Income Inequality, Critical Minerals, etc. and whatnot. And of course, Making Homes More Affordable is the title on her podium, and she's in someone's backyard. And I'm sorry I have to torture you listening to her, but it is important, and I want to give my feedback on it to show again how out of touch the government is, Crystia Freeland and whoever else, the housing minister, and how out of touch they are with common average Canadians here. So let's listen to this, and I'll stop it along the way. And it's about 10 minutes of it I'm going to play right now. Of course, she tippy-toes out on her grass with her high heels.
I would first like to thank the wonderful family, the wonderful couple who have hosted me here today in their home, Faten Saloom and Samer Ghazi. Faten is a civil engineer. She works at East Harbor, and she is building a train station for us. So thank you very much for that, Faten. It's going to be a GO station and on the new Ontario line. It's good that she's a civil engineer because they've done some renovations and made this house even nicer, and Faten's professional qualifications helped a lot. And I also want to thank Samer Ghazi. Samer just got his PhD in stem cell transplantation, and he works at Princess Margaret Hospital.
All right, so we have an engineer designing, building train stations, and a PhD who not does stem cell research, but stem cell transplants, which is a pretty serious job. So not your typical average Canadians. Of course, by listening to this, it's not typical at all.
And it was really a pleasure for me to see the beautiful home you live in with your three wonderful daughters. Faten and Samer used a first home savings account to save up some money to buy their very first home. And they also use the home buyer's plan to withdraw some money from other savings accounts. They have an insured mortgage, and it's really, I have to say, very heartwarming for me to meet a couple, to meet a family that is taking advantage of some of the programs we've put in place to buy their first home.
So they've taken money from both a first home savings account and some other savings account, which could be the RSP program where you can withdraw your RSP. So a lot of their savings and maybe their retirement has come already to buy this house in Scarborough here.
They were renting before in Newmarket, and moving here to Scarborough has made it easier for Faten and Samer to get to work. It's a shorter drive. It's easier for their eldest daughter, who is studying to be an architect at TMU, to get to school. So I'm just delighted to see these programs helping a wonderful Canadian family buy their first home and really put down roots.
So they already have 3 kids. They both have amazing careers. One daughter is already in university, and they're just buying their first home, which is very sad. And these guys are way above the average household incomes here, by the sounds of it. But again, she's treating them, and obviously with the school teacher talk here, or the kindergarten talk, however she talks, is treating them like they just, graduated college and bought their first home. But it's not the reality. The reality is they already have 3 kids, one's in university, and they just bought their first home.
And for people thinking of choosing Scarborough, I recommend you have a conversation with Faten and Samer, because they've told me how much they love their new neighborhood.
Now, Scarborough is like way over $1 million. It's like $1.5 million they probably paid for this house. Maybe 1.3, 1.2, who knows? But Scarborough's an expensive place. You're not getting into a detached for under $1 million in Scarborough. It's like they're probably at 1.5 million. Again, not your average first-time buyers. Most first-time buyers in the GTA are buying a townhouse at best, maybe usually a condo or something like that. But this is, again, not your average family, especially not in Scarborough.
We announced at the beginning, we announced a couple of weeks ago, 30-year mortgage amortizations for all buyers, for all first-time home buyers, for families like Samer and Faten.
All right, so she just referenced them. She talked about the 30-year mortgages for families like Samir and Fatin. So she's using them as a reference for this 30-year mortgage scheme she has going. But listen to what she says next.
And for all Canadians buying a newly built home, we announced that the level for insured mortgages will be increased to $1.5 million, and those measures will come into force on December 15th.
So families, just 30-year mortgages, just like this family, Samir and Fatin. Now, she didn't say they got it, but she referenced them like they did. But that doesn't come in until December 15th. So she's using them to gaslight you into thinking 30-year mortgages are great, and families just like this can get them when they didn't get them.
This week, we announced some measures that we've put in place to help families who want to add a secondary suite to their home. This is something I'm really excited about because we all know that Canada needs to build more homes faster. We know an important way to do that is to have gentle density in our cities, in our neighborhoods.
Now, you have to pay attention to this. She's talking about building more homes faster by using this secondary suites in their gardens and this new measure she's going to talk about. But she specifically said they're going to use this to build more homes faster when she contradicts it later with another reason for doing this.
And we put measures in place last year to encourage big developers to be building more homes faster, particularly when it comes to purpose-built rental. There's a gap in the market, and that's important. The measures we announced this week will allow regular Canadian families to expand their homes, make it easier for them to expand their homes.
So regular Canadians will make it easier for regular Canadians to expand their homes. So existing homeowners, she should say. This is regular Canadians cannot afford a home. So again, she's referring to regular Canadians, but she's not talking about non-homeowning Canadians. She's talking about the homeowners.
Summer. Their parents don't live in Canada right now. I think that's hard for them, and I think it's hard for their children. One day they might like to add a basement suite or a garden flat, and that could be a good place for a grandparent. It could be a good place maybe for a child to live.
So she went from building more homes, like we're going to produce more inventory, to doing it for your parents for a basement flat or something. So we've gone from building more homes to allowing your kid to live in your basement. So this is, again, it's just so fragmented, her message here. This is not, is it to create more homes in Canada for families to live in, or is it to have your extended family come stay? I'm just, again, I'm confused with the message. She's giving mixed signals here. This is very confusing, and it's a lot of double talk, and it's a lot of gaslighting.
We think that sort of gentle density is a really good way to allow Canadian families to participate in this great national project of increasing housing supply. So what have we done? We have said if you are building a secondary suite, adding it to your home, whether it's a basement apartment, whether it's a garden suite, whether it's laneway housing, you can refinance your mortgage and have a 30-year amortization. You can access up to 90% of the value of your home, including the value added by the secondary suite, and you will be eligible. This is in the insured market. You'll be eligible for these terms for a value of up to $2 million, including
$2 million. They went from 1.5 to like a week later, $2 million now. Like this is like insane. You might as well just start making trailer parks. At least people can have their own little lot or patch of grass there. This is like insane. Their solution to fixing the housing market is everybody can take up to $2 million in loans insured by the taxpayers and put something in your backyard or in your basement. And this is their plan, and they're so proud of it to fix the housing crisis or the housing market right now. This is just insane.
We also announced a couple of weeks ago, and this is a very important fact to underscore for people who already have mortgages. We announced actually in the budget that if you have an insured mortgage, you do not have to re-qualify with a new stress test to switch lenders. OSFI announced very recently that if you have an uninsured mortgage and you just want to do a straight switch to a different lender, you do not have to requalify. I want to emphasize those two announcements because together what they mean is if you have a mortgage and it's coming up for renewal, you do not have to pass a stress test again to switch lenders.
Yeah, they're worried about the renewal cliff. So we have all these mortgages, as you know, 2025 and 2026 that are renewing, like tons of them. And of course, they're trying to lessen that blow from the renewal cliff. You're still going to be paying a lot more interest and a bigger monthly payment, but you're not going to have to requalify. So you're not going to actually lose your house when you go to requalify for a new product if you want to switch lenders and whatnot. So they're not going to hold you ransom. So again, this is just going to lessen the blow. This is not going to save anybody from the overall market, what's going to happen in the future.
It's really important for me because I have talked to a lot of Canadians who are concerned about the mortgage renewal that's coming up. Today, you can shop around, you can get the best deal for yourself and your family, and I think that is a really valuable benefit. We have an ambitious plan to build more homes faster, to get 4 million homes built by 2031.
How many have you built so far? That's what I'd like to know. I don't think too many. And where's the housing minister? The housing minister, I haven't heard him actually in a while come on to one of these press conferences or news releases like this. So, yeah, I'd like to know how many they've built so far because we've been, about a year since they implemented this housing accelerator fund and all these things, and so far now they've gone from building homes, the builders won't build them because they're not making any money because they overpaid for the land and whatever else, to now we're going to create the supply by putting garden suites, laneway suites, and basement apartments. In my city right now, I just got an email from a builder where they are offering actually November 1st, I believe, or beginning of November, they're going to release the details, townhouses with 3 units in them, 3 kitchens, 3 separate units in these townhomes for in the high 800s, so almost $900,000 they're starting, and there's going to be 3 units. Where are all these people going to park, and how big are these units? So this is where we've come to. We've come to cramming people in as little space as possible at this point, and the government is going to claim that we've built all these units. So when we haven't even built them yet, but this is how desperate the housing market has become.
And increasing supply by looking at the stuff the federal government owns and saying, let's liberate federal lands. We call it lazy land. Let's liberate that so that it is used to build homes for more.
So we got lazy land, we got gentle supply, all these buzzwords they're using to caress you into thinking they're doing something about the housing market, which is just insane. I don't see it happening anytime soon. The only way I see things getting fixed are by prices coming down, land prices coming down. Building costs will come down because contractors will compete. They can only come down so far, but prices need to come down. We need a recession. We need to reset things. And the Great Reset, the real Great Reset we need, not the ones that they bought into.
And we're focused on ensuring that young families like this one are able to buy their first home.
These young, normal, average families like this engineer and this stem cell transplanter here, it's just, you guys should just go to university too and get these great jobs and you'll be able to afford a home. So again, gaslighting you into thinking, okay, this is not an average family here. These are high-income earners that already have 3 kids and can only buy their first home now in a major city in Canada. So again, gaslighting. She's referring to them just like this nice normal family here. They're not normal. These guys are way above normal.
I do just want to conclude by emphasizing some really good news that we have had just this week. And that is that rents are coming down in Toronto and in the GTA.
So this is good news. Good news for somebody out there. Rent prices are coming down. If you speculated on a house and need to rent it out for so much, you're going to get less now. So again, Depends on the context you're thinking about here, but this renting is still way cheaper than owning, so rent prices have come down. So doesn't that mean that ownership should come down too at some point?
You know, since the COVID recession, things have been really hard for Canadians, and rent has been a real challenge for a lot of Canadian families. The fact that rents are coming down is really good news.
So everything will be coming down if rent's going to come down. Rents cannot come down without house prices coming down. Like they're correlated, right? One goes up, the other goes up, or you justify one with the other. So it's just a matter of time before house prices come down even more than they have. And of course, that impending crash finally happens. So yeah, sorry I had to put you through listening to the Wicked Witch of the West there, but I felt it was needed to talk about this video and kind of how out of touch she is with Canadians. Let me know what you think. Do you think the government or Crystia Freeland and the government are having a positive impact on housing and these new measures are going to benefit Canadians? Or do you think this is just another desperate attempt to keep this Ponzi going and for political gain? Anyway, that's it for this video, and I'll see you in the next one.